when we sit here and we analyze it, right? These are becoming cultural norms. These will be what our kids expect. My son listened to Andrew Tate TikToks. He listened to Andrew Tate TikTok. If you have a son or a son around between 12 to 15, I promise you he listened to Andrew Tate TikToks. If I'm not there to be able to give him that explanation, he would take what Andrew Tate say out of context. So when I'm telling you this is serious, because now we don't have these moral codes instilled in our society no more. When we was coming up, we just saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is stand, one nation under God. We had cultural morals. That was it, regardless how bad we was. We still had these cultural morals.
But I do want to say this though, and this is going to be pushed back, and I just want to throw it out there. I don't want people to bank on devaluing. For example, I know that little podcast was saying, oh, well, I found a girl, she looks like, we use me, we're going to take me out of it. But if you met this girl, she looks like so-and-so. Let's just say they're pretty girls in all tribes. You got to find a pretty girl in your tribe, okay? But if you're trying to, even if a girl has, let's just say if she's divorced or she has a kid, but your mentality is different, it's not going to work. You understand what I'm saying? Because you guys don't even think alike. So I think that a lot of times what happens is like, well, he can't get that girl. She can't get that guy. So let me get her, and y'all don't even think alike. It'll never work out. So don't bank on just because these things are in her life that you quote unquote devalue her, that you're next in line. It doesn't really, I don't think it works. Sometimes it may, but I don't really think it works that way. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you remember what I said earlier, about the video that I usually go to with the couple, with the black lady and the white man. They was together for like 6 years before they got married. So that's what I'm saying. People that smarter people take the time to invest in a relationship, make sure they're compatible, see where it's going and stuff like that, before they just start jumping, off of buildings into everything. But we know that that's not how it usually works. And so we have to make room for the fact that there's going to be a lot of trial and error in relationships. That's going to happen, right? What you want to do is minimize the damage to kids with this trial and error. If we can get to a point where we're minimize trial and error and then minimize the kids being brought into the trial and error phase, I think we'll see a lot more healthier families, at least, if not relationships. I think the average marriage in the Black community lasts 5.5 years. I don't think that's just all about compatibility. I think that's also about expectations, sometimes delusional ones.
But see, this is the problem with you, rather.
You like that, the AP? Is that better for you?
Yeah, this is
much. Thank you.
You actually, you're not trolling now.
Hey, we need trolls, bro. Troll out tonight.
Not in the conversation, you don't.
My wife was dying laughing at you, just though. I walked back and she was dying.
Hold on, player. Look, this is what y'all gotta realize.
Logic, you're low. I can't really hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
Not really.
All right, can you hear me now?
It still sound the same. I can hear you, but you ain't. It don't sound like you're speaking into a mic.
Yeah, maybe get closer.
He said he gave up podcasts and he ain't got no microphone.
I ain't got none of that stuff no more. But look, all right, look, can you hear me now?
Next week,
better.
Y'all can be better.
Yeah.
All right, this is what it come down to. Is when y'all dealing with this stuff, and then, like I said, it's a time for trolling it. But look, this is for real. When I say it's for real, it's because that this is now becoming a cultural norm. This is what they expect. So if you give two fucks about your kids, this is going to be normalized.
Who is they that you say expect? Who's they?
No, nigga, just listen.
Come out the window.
I'm not talking to you.
No, just they. Who is they?
I said they, our kids. Kids.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You got kids?
No, listen, I got you.
You plan on having kids one day?
Out.
I don't know.
Well,
it might be ugly. I don't know.
Then you ain't ready for this conversation. But the thing is what I'm fucking with you. But look, when we sit here and we analyze it, right? These are becoming cultural norms. These will be what our kids expect. My son listened to Andrew Tate TikToks. He listened to Andrew Tate TikTok. If you have a son or a son around between 12 to 15, I promise you he listened to Andrew Tate TikToks. If I'm not there to be able to give him that explanation, he would take what Andrew Tate say out of context. So when I'm telling you this is serious, because now we don't have these moral codes instilled in our society no more. When we was coming up, we just saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is stand, one nation under God. We had cultural morals. That was it, regardless how bad we was. We still had these cultural morals. You know what I'm saying? When our mom said told us that the guy who smoked weed was a crackhead, and now in 2023, he's no longer a crackhead. He's a regular citizen. So now what I'm saying is these conversations is important because kids are listening. They're listening. And if we don't provide no kind of context to nothing we say, like I said, I'm not against women. I love women. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to say certain things if it needs to be held accountable. Women don't like it. Men don't like it when I say certain things because I'm a fair dude across the board. I said dudes are unrealistic for this fit feminine thing. When you run around in the projects telling you want a fit feminine chick, they don't exist. Popeye's fried chicken chicks live in the projects. You pick out of that.
You a hater.
I ain't no hater. I'm keeping it funky. And then now we have to have this tribal mindset because if we don't have a tribal mindset is the only thing that makes the Jewish community succeed. Tribal mindset is the only thing that makes the South Korean community in America succeed. The Chinese community in America succeed. They have a tribal mentality. And what they do is they shrink their inner circle. They don't have these big communities. Ain't no Korean community, American community. No, it's a Korean tribe on Buford Highway. And the only thing they give a fuck about is the Koreans in Buford Highway. You never hear them talk about the New York people. You never see it. They don't get on no podcast expanding out.
Right.
We got to focus on the levels that we can control. And we got to realize kids are watching and listening. If we don't do something as men, we say we the leaders of the community. If we don't do something as men, they sit here and say, hey, look, you know what? We're going to raise our boys to be the breadwinners. So now your daughters will actually have something to fall in line to. But if we don't raise our boys to be the breadwinner, they'll be inheriting the same shit that we inherited where we got these boss chicks. Have you ever heard of a Korean boss chick? Have you ever heard of a white boss chick?
Actually, white women started it.
Boy, stop. Boy, get your trolling ass out of here.
It's so funny to me.
You never heard no goddamn.
But she keep that money in her pocket.
You do not hear that. And like, even if it exists, do you hear it?
Logic, Logic, can I go ahead and validate your point real quick? Because there is a real life example of that. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it might have been a year and a half ago when Tommy Loren got on her TikTok and decided to blast white men. 2 days later, she got right back on her TikTok with an apology. Why? Because the men that she worked for over there at Fox News said that shit ain't gonna work.
Ain't playing.
Facts.
Ain't playing.
So it's up to men to straighten the course. Period. Point blank. Bottom line.
The thing again that I keep asking about this is why is this not a problem in the other races? We make more money on average than Mexicans, right? Than Hispanics, and yet they married, they get femininity, they get all this other stuff going on, right? They ain't nobody telling them, no, y'all need to make more money and all this other stuff. They get what they get. Like that's one of I hate to bring his name up, but that's one of Kevin Samuel's talking points, right? Like he said Enrique could be on the side of the road selling oranges. His woman respect the hustle. She respect the grind. She respect the fact that he just getting up doing something.
No,
right?
There's two groups of Hispanics. The ones foreign ones that barely speak the language that's in their community, they get order. The Americanized ones, just as bad, just bad as off as everybody else.
That's a good point.
Two classes.
That's a good point. But on average, the numbers still say that they still married over 60%, right? And their divorce rates ain't as high, but we make more money than them.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying. Like this is.
But see, this is the
so
problem.
we gotta really look into that though.
What do Hispanics see as a successful relationship
compared to what we see
family
as a successful relationship?
Yeah, household income that's higher than black.
Like they look at it and say, "I want a family."
Yeah.
I don't need a Bentley. I don't need all this.
That's a fact.
I want that infrastructure. And now they're killing us by developing that infrastructure, which is by default creating tribes.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw like
wait, hold up. They're taking over areas all over the world.
I was just about to say
the only thing we taking over is projects or hood areas.
Yes, sir.
Time for us. We worse than the Indians. We might as well put ourselves on reservations. And I'm saying the bigger picture is they value things. Their value system is different. They have a moral code.
That's a fact.
We no longer have that moral code anymore. That our women is coming up valuing Birkin, Bentleys.
There you go.
Where they're valuing, hey, I want a husband.
Right, family.
Well, I think that is it fair to say that when you come somewhere, when you come from something not as great as what you're going into, that is a come up. Like your husband brought you from this place over to this place, that is a come up. But then we have to look into, all I can go is by what I see. A lot of times they're young boys who, especially in high school, those boys are working full time. Like they're not focused on, they're working in the job. Like I know kids who come in with hundreds of dollars. I'd be like, what you do? Because I need something done. You know what I'm saying? And they already have a skill because it's like a family. It's a family business. Like if your dad laid down the floor, you know how to lay down the floor too. Matter of fact, one of my students, my old house, painted the entire house. His family did that. And they just go out and, so I think they just move a little different, period. But I think that who's to say that that's the way, when they've been here for 10, 15, more years to come, it'd be interesting to see that once they've settled, how if the American mentality kind of, plays with them, or if they continue that tradition.
I don't think it will. And I'm going to tell you why. I can bring Marcus and Modern Renaissance, man. We're all from Chicago, and we all have a knowledge of the surrounding areas, so they probably know this as well as I do. I'm gonna pick one specific area, Aurora, Illinois. Aurora, Illinois, right, used to be this very untapped land. It was like, man, maybe 10% cultivated, right? And then they start really building. Let me tell you something. The Mexicans took that joint over. What do you look? We watched this happen. There would be 3, 4, 5 families in one house. 3, 4, 5 families in one car, right? Everybody working at the same places, everybody building together. And now you look, and those 4 or 5 families that was in that one house, they all have their own house. And they all have brought another family in so that they can build off of that as well. And they all have Escalades and Yukons and Suburbans. They got all the trucks, right? Because it's always so many of them. They work together. That's the point. It's not, I need, like Logic said, the Birkin bag right now. I'm trying to, the family, the legacy is still the most important thing. And that's not with us.
It's because we have ego, right? Ego.
Yeah.
Ego.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And ego.
And emotion.
And self-esteem issues.
True.
Kanye used to, before Kanye married a Kardashian, he used to say some of the realest shit. When he was talking about,
fact.
I can't walk through the mall without a jersey, a shirt with a name and a brand new chain or whatever. I forget the verse.
Yeah.
But what he was saying was, we have to present ourselves at all times like we are wealthy, because if we do not show people our wealth, we have no worth. That is our main issue. Our ego is in front or in back of our self-esteem issue, which makes us force people to say, hey, I got a Gucci shirt on, or I got an off-white shirt on. I paid $750 for this shirt. You need
a
to respect
regular T-shirt.
I'm worth. I can pay $750 for a T-shirt.
Right.
I can't go to the store when I'm not fresh. If I don't go to the store fresh, these motherfuckers gonna think I lost it. These people gonna think I ain't got the money no more. They not gonna respect me. I'm not gonna be the man no more. Ego and self, like that's been my biggest fight in life. It ain't been nothing other than fighting my ego. That's why I don't co-sign none of this elitist shit on some for real shit.
I don't think that wearing a Gucci top makes you elite. That's
actually a waste of $700 to me.
No, it does. No, it does. Because when you go to the club,
if you had money, you wouldn't have bought the shirt. Because now you ain't got it no more.
When you go to Soho House, when you go downtown, when you go to the bars, when you go to these places, you know what? Women recognize that shit.
Right, because they have the same mentality.
The difference between waiting in line outside a club and not be an outfit and a potential for bottle service. People who buy bottle service can buy shirts that cost $750.
I disagree.
I'm telling you from experience, bro.
I get it.
No, I can back it up, but go ahead.
But what I'm saying to you is, and people who think like me, my tribe would know what I'm saying. I would even look at that and say, that's a mentality. Those people are a different, you know. And I'm not saying people don't like nice things, but that guy who has to be flashy with the Gucci belt and he got him hanging and he got to have all this, and everything that you just named, that's a tribe for that as well. I'm not saying
I feel the same about people. Hey, Shan. Well, hold on, Shan. I feel the same about people who put up Christmas lights.
Wait,
I
want
to answer real quick to the whole.
Because that is a social construct of a tribe.
That's what
It
she
is
said,
a
right?
social construct of a tribe. The thing is that everybody in the black community wearing Gucci.
Yes.
It's a social construct of a tribe. If you got a Gucci tie and you work at Bose Alley, right? Where you see everybody in there wearing Gucci ties, everybody wearing nice suits, they wear nice built, they wearing Italian shoes, then now that means you're a part of that tribe. You can afford that. It's a part of your social construct. But now, if you're dealing with the black community, where everybody, the project chicks got Birkin bags. Niggas goddamn he ain't even got a floor mat in his car, and he got on Christian Louboutin red bottoms.
Or he on Section 8 and he got.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. See, the thing is that they have tribal things. If you look at the cowboys that work, if you ever been in West Texas and you look at the cowboys, they dress different in certain aspects from the guys who own the ranches. They still have their tribes. It's different. Even though they might wear cowboy boots and hats. You see, it's a different level of it. See, we don't have that. Because see, now I can work at one of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in America, right? And when I get up and dress up, a nigga live in DC dressed just like me. See, them social constructs don't exist in the black community because we think as a black community as a whole. If Lil Baby got a chain, I need to get a chain. Even though I can't afford a chain, I need to get me a chain. If Lil Baby got some Balenciagos, I need to get some Balenciagos. But if you look at other tribes, you don't see that.
But Logic.
We're gonna let Sam go because we got to move people around because I have 2 people in waiting at the bottom and I can't come up because it's 10 people on the
I'll drop. Hey, thank y'all for having me.
Oh, thank you,
man. Beautiful talking to you, bro.
I'll make it quick, then I'll drop too.
Okay.
What y'all are saying is true. So, Marcus, I'm not saying it's not true that there are people who have this wealth and they wear this stuff and they shine.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But the people there's a lot of millionaires, black millionaires, they're invisible. Breon could be married to a deca millionaire right now and you wouldn't know if she doesn't tell you. She'd be wearing that regular thing, regular hair, no make. People don't know, but they don't ask. But they somehow somebody told them everybody in VIP is rich. And one dude just got his FEMA check and sold his soul, and he's going to the club one time, he's going right back under a bridge. And 6 weeks later, they find that out. But them in the VIP and the chicks chasing them end up broke. Because let's be real, most people ain't got no money, or they ain't got no net worth. They don't own anything, and they're just rat race running victims.